right, we are here in the Warner Brothers booth. I'm joined by Ed Boon from NetherRealm. Ed, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. A little tired, kind of coming up to E3, but I think it's turning out okay.
Yeah, it's you're here showing Injustice: Gods Among Us, a new fighting game. I believe it says from the creators of Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Now you're making this completely different fighting game now with all these DC characters. How's it feel to get away completely from the MK stuff?
It feels, I mean, not that we're like, oh, I hate MK, whatever, but, you know, it's weird. The common thing that everybody's kind of asking us is, you know, well, are there going to be fatalities in this game? Are there going to be, and it's kind of funny because, like, I almost expect if we did a puzzle game, somebody would say, are there going to be fatalities in it? You know, just because.
Well, to be fair, you have made a puzzle game with fatalities in it before.
Shit, that's right. Okay.
So.
Okay, no, I should have picked a different one, but you're right.
So you can see why people might jump to that conclusion. But I mean, let's get it out of the way there. I mean, you've said before it's a T-rated game, right? Will there be finishing moves of any kind?
No, actually, we are really trying to do what we can to make this a separate franchise, separate thing. The only really thing it has in common with Mortal Kombat is it's a fighting game from that point. So I know there's going to be the inevitable questions coming up of does it have fatalities, does it have X-rays, does it have, babalities or something like that. And for the most part, the answer is no. We really don't want to do that kind of thing. We really want this game to have its own identity. Although we do want to give the player like that same feeling of satisfaction of doing like a big crazy X-ray move or something like that. So the direction we're going is over the top, insane, Flash runs around the world, Superman punches somebody over that. That's kind of like our equivalent of the big event in the game.
So you're spending a lot of the design time that would normally go into those finishing moves, like, oh, let's just make this in-game stuff that much crazier.
Yeah, and the identity of this game, from my perspective, is the variety of these characters, the classes of characters, and things that you can do in the backgrounds that are actually involved in the fight. That to me is like what this game brings to the table in terms of fighting games.
Yeah. Now the background stuff, it seems like you've got a button dedicated to interacting with the background. Can you talk about some of the different ways that people will be able to work with the things in the background?
Absolutely. The big thing we really want to be able to do is to say, like, okay, if I'm in the corner somewhere, how is this going to be an advantage to actually getting, I could pick up this car and I could slam it on you. Or if I'm Batman, I could grab you and smash your head into it. And we don't want people to just go, I'm in the corner, I'm going to smash it with a car. It's going to be, I'm in the corner, who am I playing with? How can I use this object in the background? So for the most part, we want to see big events, big cool events that actually are in use in the combat. Yeah. But there are other ones that are smaller, like hitting a button and sending rockets flying at the guy. So we really want the amount of things you do to be as big a variety as possible.
You talk a lot about kind of forging a new identity for this game and that sort of stuff. I found that actually really extended to the gameplay, like different button system, like holding back to block. Yeah. Is that, like, how crazy does that feel for you? I mean, having been the champions of the block button for decades now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I obviously I play Street Fighter and stuff like that, so I'm pretty familiar with it. But like you said, it's something that, like, I think there's going to be the inevitable. Well, of course, Mortal Kombat did it this way, so this game's doing it that way too. But our goal is to really kind of carve a whole new niche for this game and have it different. The holding back for a block certainly isn't new to fighting games. The first one kind of did it. So, but that's a great example of how we really want to give this game its own.
Can you talk a bit about the differences between the characters? I mean, obviously, they'll have different special moves and that sort of stuff, but it looked like the meters will work a different way for different characters.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. The meters that we have, like, in Mortal Kombat, we had these meters that you can, build up and use into different segments and stuff like that. And they were a little bit more similar in Mortal Kombat. This game it's almost like every character, it's a completely different use for it. There's a button, like one of the attack buttons is kind of like this special move button almost, and then it uses the meter in some ways. Every character has it differently. Wonder Woman, it changes her fighting style stance. Grundy has these sequence of throws that he chains into that buffs up your different abilities. So Grundy, if you go through this one chain of grabs, all of a sudden you're going to have more defense. You go through this one, you have more offense, and all these different things. It's a really lot of people are going to be surprised how many layers for the Evo guys and the fighting game guys who count frames, how much content is in there for them. So, but as far as the meat, the meters on the bottom, it's literally different for every single character, and you really got to learn that character and how he works. So.
Cool. Mortal Kombat was, MK9 was renowned for its single-player content. You had the challenge tower, all that sort of stuff. Can players expect like a similar tack to the story in this game?
Yeah, we're definitely going to be releasing like the details of it later, but you clearly, I think one of the things that worked with Mortal Kombat was the amount of single-player content that we had in there. We had this whole challenge tower thing, and we had a very elaborate story mode and stuff like that. We got huge positive feedback from that. So clearly we're going to run with those ideas and stuff like that. So it's not just going to be a single player ladder like arcade game. Yeah.
So you got 6 characters here. When's the next drop? Is it Comic-Con? That seems like the likely spot to maybe let a couple more out?
That is my current understanding, is that we're going to release a couple more characters and maybe a feature or something like that in Comic-Con. But you got Comic-Con, you got PAX, you got Gamescom, you got all these.
Just all the different conventions right up to release.
Yeah.
And then that's 2013. Do you have anything narrower than 2013?
Yeah,
early, late.
Yeah, that's like one of the most embarrassing parts about doing this is say, when's it coming out? 2013. It's like, oh, thanks. There's a lot of
the far-flung future.
Yeah. So I have an idea in my head, but we're not supposed to say it until a while. But it's 2013.
Don't feel bad. I saw a game the other day that was announced for 2015. So that's
now I don't feel bad.
Yeah. So Mortal Kombat 10 coming in 2015, right? That's the 2-year cycle.
Oh my God. I don't even know when that came.
Yeah, let's just talk about 2015, right? That totally makes a lot of sense. All right, Ed. Thanks a lot for your time, man. Game looks really cool. Thanks.